The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and gals, my name is Auzzy Blood. You're about to see me appear on the Corey Taylor Talk Show. You are going to see some extremely dangerous stunts and tricks. I am a trained professional. Do not try anything you're about to see at home. You will be putting your life at risk. Do not attempt it, no matter what you think you can do.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready. This is the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. I am really excited about my guest today because, as I think you guys all know, I try to showcase really unique people and everything like that are doing really awesome things and are marching to the beat of their own drums. Yes. No,
Right up my alley.
but I think you're really amazing and you're so talented, and you have a whole bunch of different things, and you're like this amazing entrepreneur as well.
Thank you.
So very excited to have you, Mr. Auzzy Blood.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Your favorite Sin City freak.
That's right. So why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself? And like I said, you kind of do everything, and you're all over the place. So
All over the place.
whatever,
There's a
all of the
lot.
stuff that you
All right,
do.
so just to start off, I'm a sideshow performer or freak show, meaning I push the boundaries and limitations of my body in just about any way possible, unthinkable, impossible, painful ways that, to normal people seem unbearable or dangerous.
Right.
But I do it in a safe way to where I'm trying to show people that they can do anything they put their mind to. Everything is possible for me to die. If something were to go wrong, there's an accident, I make a slip, one wrong maneuver, I could end my own life. So the acts I do is such as human blockheads. So take these big, large nails and hammer them into my face, and then I have these giant meat hooks. I skewer them through my skull too. I've actually broken a world record to where I pulled 3,200 pounds with that, and I'm in the process of getting all the paperwork approved by
Holy
Guinness
cow.
right now. Yeah, and then I'm actually one of the youngest sword swallowers in the world.
Wow.
I've been swallowing swords. It'll be 3 years in January, and I'm self-taught too. So that means I was actually, I guess, rewind. So I was a certified medical assistant in school. I was inspired by another gentleman named Morg, and pretty much saw the people down on Fremont Street out here in Vegas,
Right.
and took it to, well, do I want to work in the medical industry, or do I want to kind of explore a little bit? And I was about 19 years old when I started doing all this.
Wow.
So I took it and I said, well, I'm going to teach myself sword swallowing. Day after day after day after day, just pushing a coat hanger down my throat. Took me about 10 months. And
Oh my gosh.
now I actually also am in the process of getting a world record for sword swallowing push-ups. So push-ups.
Oh, I did. I saw you. Yes.
Yes, I have a video for that on my YouTube.
Yeah.
And 31 is my record now.
Wow.
And then I create oddities. So weird things like this. This is the Pinhead baby doll.
I love him. I think he's super cute.
It's actually a self-defense weapon if you think about
I
it
was gonna
too.
say,
Because
you
feel
can't
how
really.
sharp that
Oh my
guy is.
gosh.
Yeah. You could
Ooh.
walk home with this, and if prowlers are bugging you,
You're safe.
bothering you.
I don't think
So
they bother
safe.
you if they saw that anyways.
No, especially with the makeup, walking around the store just to go get some groceries sometimes after shows or whatever. Walking into the gas station, the looks I get are amazing. But I love it because I'm able to, why is this guy dressed like that? Why? Again, I'm making people question their realities in different ways. People are afraid to step outside of the box of their definition of truth, of what they understand and believe to be real in reality and the way they approach things. So when you step outside and approach it from a different perspective,
Yeah.
what are you gonna experience? How are you gonna feel? A lot of people too, they will really put like a barrier, say, oh no, I can't try that, for whatever excuse they can come up with, instead of actually just embracing the experience itself. So
Now I know that you said you started off as a medical assistant,
Yeah.
correct? And so I know you said you met someone and stuff, but I mean that's kind of a big drastic thing, and it's not an everyday profession, obviously.
No, it's not.
So, what made you really decide to go with that, and how did you even were you always interested in stuff like this?
Sideshow, yes. Like I always loved the circus and just weird oddity things. I was a kid walking around with my headphones in at school, blasting heavy metal music, ignoring the rest of the world, just thinking to myself. And it was like I liked medical because I love the human body, so I always had an interest in the human body and how it functioned. And it was like from there I just became bored with the medical field really quickly. I was working for doctors. I didn't like the way doctors treated their patients and how they would lie to it. So I'm a really empathetic person when it comes to other people. So it was really hard for me to do that job sometimes when I know exactly what's going on, but I'm telling the patient a different story because the doctor's telling me to. Just because he's trying to make more money. Anyways, I had always been a performer too because I'd done drama all 4 years of high school. So it was like a combination of things and experiences. And then I was like, just do it to see how it goes, see what happens. And then I said, start a YouTube channel, see what happens. Let's do it. And I did, and I was getting a really good response. People were telling me, thank you for inspiring me. Like, seeing you do this and be yourself with the makeup and everything and not care what people say or not care how people look at you or how they judge you, you know, it inspired them to be able to do that for themselves. And that really reflected with me and just said, well, I'm making an impact, keep this going. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And here I am today, swallowing swords and performing as a self-employed performer and making art and oddities. And, you know, there's struggles sometimes, but I love it. You know, sometimes I'm not going to pay the rent, but I always find a way to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. I understand. It's tough when you follow your dreams and everything like that, but I think you're getting quite the backing and everything. Following, you have a lot of
on Patreon.
Yeah, and I think you completely deserve it because you are so crazy talented and your whole style is different and unique, and you're your own person. I think that's really an awesome thing, and it's cool.
I think one of the best comments I've gotten was a gentleman after one of the shows. He's like, I heard people talking about your act, but I didn't get to see it. As soon as I saw you, I thought you were Marilyn Manson with the Joker smile. That just really struck home to me. So yeah, it's been an amazing. It'll be 4 years come this December since I've started this weird little journey, and that's exactly what I'm making. And I'm not trying to make any specific goal. I'm just trying to. I have a foundation of what I want and what I want to accomplish, and I'm making goals along the way, and I'm just taking it as it comes instead of stressing about the bigger picture of what could go wrong, because there's a lot that could go wrong. I could lose my apartment if I don't work enough shows and have enough money and all of this, but I'm going with it with my intuition and putting my best foot forward and struggling every day to be my best and accomplish whatever I want.
Well, I already think you're breaking stereotypes and stuff. I mean, to even get to being a medical assistant is really that's incredible. I took biomed in high school for 1 year because I was like, oh, I want to be a nurse, and I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a lot. A lot of people dislike it too because of the the nasty germ that comes with it. But I was never bothered by that. I actually worked at CSL Plasma for a long time, so I saw the grit and grime of the people that were coming in off the streets for money. And it's a really weird way to say it, but until you work there, you don't know how gross the people are that go to donate plasma. People were clogging our machines because of the amount of plaque they had in their bloodstream.
Oh my gosh.
Because of how much crap they ate. All the crap in their system that can't be absorbed nutriently, gets put in your bloodstream as plaque, and that's what causes blood clots. So that's one of the reasons I liked working at the plasma center, I guess, because I got to see all of the realness of people struggling for money, what they do to struggle for money, how people take care of their bodies, and I mean, I don't eat meat because of that anymore.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
No, very interesting.
So you want to see some weird stuff? Should
Yes.
we get into the sideshow?
Yes.
All
Okay,
right.
so actually I think we're going to take a break, and then we'll start the sideshow tricks. But yes, why don't I want to talk about this doll really quick before we get into that. So you make these dolls, and so where can people find them? Because I think, first of all, I think he's super cute, and you said you have some more already.
Yeah, I make more, and I do custom commissioned orders, so the more detail you want in a doll, the more it's going to be. They range anywhere from $40 all the way up to however much you're willing to spend.
Right.
And it's pretty much customizable to anything. You can reach me on Instagram, Facebook, or any type of social media outlet I use. Just message me, prepare the custom order, and then payment through PayPal.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think they're super cool and
super creepy. Somebody asked for a pinhead one, and I think I'm going to do an entire different series of pinheads just because they're so I don't know,
Yeah.
they're just fun with the needles and everything.
We have a vampire baby doll, so I like those. But okay, so yes, now let's take a break and then we'll come back and you'll do, I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm excited.
Oh, your mind's gonna be
So
blown.
let's see.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tip's about tire maintenance, how to check a tire, how to fill it properly. Okay, so as we can see, we've got a low tire. We probably saw that a month ago and said we'll fill it, but like everything, we let a day go by. Next thing you know, we got a problem. Properly check a tire, remove the valve cover, got a tire gauge, simply put it on there, and it'll read the pressure down at the bottom in PSI, pounds per square inch. We can see here that this is so low, it's barely reading. There's probably 10 pounds in it at best. So how do we properly inflate it? Well, we're going to need an air chuck. Go down to the local store or come by the shop. We'll use this tool to inflate it. And that sounds like that's all we need to do, but we need to know how much to inflate it to, because overinflated is just as bad as underinflated. We can look at the tire, and on here we're going to find a cold pressure rating rated in PSI, and it's going to say anywhere from 32 to 80 pounds depending on the vehicle. We'll want to find that so we know the maximum inflation cold. We're going to look until we find the load rating. And here we find the maximum PSI is 44 PSI, pounds per square inch cold. We don't want to fill it any more than that, but we don't want to underfill it either. We want to fill it to 44. So it seems like checking the air pressure is no big deal. It's not. It's really simple to do, but we want to make sure we got the correct pressure. How do we find that? Let me show you. We open the door and we locate the sticker. It's usually right here. It could be down on the lower rocker, but it's on the driver's side. And after we look around, we'll see right here it says 35 PSI. That's the pressure that the tire requires that was sold with the vehicle. But if you change the tires later to a high-performance tire, mud and snow or anything else, look at the cold pressure on the side of the tire to make sure you're properly inflated. This could be 35 today, but we get a performance tire, it's 44, 45, or even higher. We'll want to make sure we're inflating the tire properly. A couple of things you're going to need if you're checking your own tires: tire gauge and a rag, because you are going to get a little dirty. If you don't want to do that, I don't blame you. Bring it to the shop, we'll check it for you. We'll do a whole inspection on the vehicle if you like. We'll check the tires, make sure you're safe. This can save you a lot of time and keep you safe. Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to Corey Taylor Talks, and I don't want to take up too much time because without further ado, we have Mr. Auzzy Blood.
All right, so here we have a metal grinder. You can see that's real. So now I'm gonna take this thin steel plate and we're gonna stick it in between my teeth and inches away from my face. We're gonna run this grinder. Woo! Yeah, that's hot and I'm losing some teeth. I'm gonna need a new one soon. All right, now, here in my hand we have two very large solid steel spikes. They're about 1/4 inch thick each. Well, if we like some double penetration, because my face sure does, we're gonna take one and go all the way back in my skull, 1/8 of an inch away from my brainstem. Lick it before you stick it. There's one, and number two. Whew, those are back there. Now, everything's so stretched out, I can actually do this.
Oh.
It's so weird without all the applause and
Yeah,
weird
I-
noises. No, don't. I don't expect anything, but it's just funny because I'm so used to like
I think it's awesome.
noises from every little angle. All right, now it's gonna get even more dangerous. While this is lodged within my skull, 1/8 of an inch away from my brainstem, I'm gonna be running this grinder across these bolts. Here we go. Yeah. Let's get these bad boys out now. That's yummy, right? All right. Now, I don't normally do this one unless there's a show, but it's a special occasion.
Yay.
And I like having fun. So you can always come see my full act at Freak Show this Saturday, August 18th, here in Las Vegas at the Erotic Heritage Museum, and see all of the things I'll do. So we're gonna come to the ground now. Here we have a circular saw. It's extremely real. 100% sharp, dangerous spinning blade. And the crazy thing is, the only way this bad boy turns on and off is this battery here. Mind you, I am one of the only people in the world that do this. You won't see it anywhere else. Now, we're gonna attach this large meat hook here and really have some fun. If you were up close, you'd be in the splatter zone. You ready?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh.
That gets everyone every time. We're gonna do some more stuff back at the table, but just to finish it off, the creme de la creme, one of my personal favorites next to my hooks, sword swallowing. So here we have a 17.5-inch solid steel blade. It does not retract. Here, come feel how heavy this is, Corey. I don't think you felt how heavy this thing is yet.
I love this sword. Oh my gosh, it is heavy.
Yeah, it's really heavy.
Oh my goodness.
And you can imagine, while that's actually inside of me, I feel the blade vibrate and beat to the beat of my heart.
Oh my goodness.
So here we go, down the hatch without a scratch.
Ooh. Ah. Oh my goodness.
I'll save the push-ups for Saturday at show.
Yes. Awesome. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this little taste. Normally, like I have these big weights that I hang from right here in my eye sockets,
Oh my goodness.
and even bigger weight that I lift with the hook
Oh.
and swing that around.
Well, actually, with the hook, you actually just told me before you, I believe, set the world record.
Yeah, it was pulling a car. I'm working on another. We're gonna go up weight, but is on my YouTube channel. You can see it. I pull 3,200 pounds with one of these hooks here, while it's through my skull, and it's pretty gnarly.
Oh my goodness. Now, are you, like, do you have something special where you can use it? Like,
No, I mean, anybody can do it, but I don't recommend doing it.
I
Now,
agree.
the anatomy of it, it's actually, so as it goes through my palate, my soft palate, which is part of the sinus cavity, the hooks actually, think about it like this, it's hooked here on my maxilla bone, which is your upper jaw, so your upper mouth bone. And as long as there's no jerking or major like random jump, think of like when you go to break an arm, how if you land awkward, or that's how an arm breaks or fractures. Well, same thing if I were to pull something and there would be a random jerk or random unprepared movement that was a lot of awkward force to my skull, it could cause a fracture, but it's very rare for that to happen.
I don't think it doesn't sound like it's rare, but okay. So you have some more
You want to see?
Yes.
So this one is very dangerous. I'm again one of the only people. Another gentleman that does this is Morg. We have an artistic movement going on called the Hyperion movement. We're literally just trying to get a bunch of individuals to, again, like I've said, wake up, realize their full potential, and use all of their potential to create as much as they can and break away from the norms of society. You know, like one of the reasons I'm self-employed and I don't work for a day job is so I can put 100% of my willpower and effort into everything I'm doing without having to focus my energy elsewhere or into somebody else's growth or project. So, yeah, here we go. So we have two very large 1/4-inch solid steel meat hooks. One's going to be going in through my nostril, through my skull, and the other is going to go in through the back of my throat, and we're going to see where they pop out. Don't try this at home. I'm a professional.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, 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 oh.
Yeah, there's always some drool with that.
I bet.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Not many
so
people in the
crazy.
world can do that.
I bet.
No. Lots of practice it takes.
That's awesome.
And that's why, like, you're asking if, anybody can do it. Anybody can, but it was a process of stretching from a condom. So you had to do the condom challenge. Tie that tight and literally like waxing it through my face with the condom pulled this far out. And then, sorry, I got watery eyes. It's normal about this
Of
point.
course. No, I bet.
And then, yeah, it was, I found this tiny little chain I had. It was, I think, to hang something up like a sign. But I'd use that. And the chain, I noticed, helped, I guess, speed things up because the roughness of it helped desensitize everything, waxing it through. So imagine you got an inch link just across the palate where your uvula is. And then I worked up to these skewers that I made myself, and then I got these custom made. My dad actually makes all my tools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's a
So
mechanic and a
supportive of
fabricator. Oh yeah,
everything.
he was weirded out at first, like, Austin, why are you eating glass? So I can also eat light bulbs and do.
Oh
there's-
my
I have a
gosh.
whole bunch of
I
stuff.
can't
But
even pick up light bulbs. Broken light bulbs, obviously.
yeah, I walk on glass. I actually get my face smashed in glass too at some shows. Those are the fun ones. Somebody
Oh.
stands on the back of my head, and
Oh my
smashes it in.
gosh.
Everyone's like, "How do you still look so good?" I'm like, "I don't know. Just do. I take care of myself."
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like, I mean, obviously we know this, but I don't see how that's physically possible. That's why
See,
I
it
asked,
blows
like,
people's
That's
minds.
why I asked if you had something special in
No.
there or something.
I mean, I guess I'm a little bit of a mutant. I have hair that grows differently in my body. I forget what the disease is called. It's not even a disease. It's just a genetic mutation. If you look at my armpit hair, I don't have hair in here. It just goes right here.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like I'm actually a really quick healer. You can see on a lot of my stomach too. Like, it's hard to see because of the makeup, but you can see like the little
Right.
dots from the staple wounds because people staple money to me. The bigger the bill, the bigger the thrill.
Oh.
And it heals up quite quickly.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing shows all through July, and there's nothing left much that you can see. You can't tell, anyways. And then you've seen how I do the pin cushion act, right? So I put the
Right.
needles through my face, and again, it's all about knowing the anatomy and where to do things. I have blown blood vessels in my cheek before, and just gotten
Oh.
like a hematoma, so my cheeks swelled up really big from the inside, and I was a little worried. I was like, oh, that's never happened before. Oh, now I'm gonna be talking like a chipmunk, but got through it. And again, it's just knowing your anatomy, being mindful of everything, and
Yeah.
going through it. And you're like, how does he do this? I don't understand.
Even explaining it, it still doesn't really, my brain can't comprehend it.
Well, a lot of people don't realize either that when you watch what I do in person, even over video or anything, it creates a chemical reaction in your brain to start releasing endorphins such as serotonin, dopamine, and adrenaline that makes you feel excited. Also, your subconscious is going, wait, he's gonna kill himself. That's dangerous. He shouldn't be doing that. That's not normal. So your brain's going through all these transitions of like questioning its own perspective and what it's going through. So it's a beautiful part about the formula of my performance.
I like it. So there's a whole deeper meaning with
Yeah, yeah.
everything. Very cool.
I mean, if you look deeper into it, there is with anything, everything has an underlying reason. But most people just decide to look on the surface and judge what's right there.
Right. No, I think it's awesome, and I am just mind blown. And I have to say, I was watching it through video, and I can't even really do it justice. You have to really see it
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah,
to
it doesn't do it justice
fully
over
grasp,
video.
especially even when he was like 2 inches and doing the meat hook thing. It's just
Like, what
oh
the
my
f-
god.
it makes you
I
feel so
can't-
uncomfortable. And when I
can't
first,
even explain it.
I mean, that's what I loved about like seeing stuff in seeing stuff like that in person for the first time, because it was just like, it's real. This isn't magic. I'm not questioning how he does it. I know how he does it. I'm still questioning how he does it,
Right.
how he tolerates it, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It just set me on this journey. Here I am. Yeah.
Do you have like a craziest thing you've ever done? Is there something you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that? Or
No, because I'm always looking to break new boundaries. At first, there's some stuff. So I don't know if, like I said, I've talked about, I haven't. I'm also a haunt actor, so I worked with Freakling Brothers out here. We talked about that earlier before we started the show.
Yes.
Worked with Freakling Brothers for 4 years, so they have a rated R haunted house.
Yes.
You have to sign a waiver to go through. There's electricity and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
So that's one of the first things I did in 2013 when I moved to Vegas. And there's actually a new series they're doing that started in 2013 called The Victim Experience. Have you heard of that?
I think so. Yes, yes.
So that's the rated X experience.
Yeah.
You have to sign a waiver, there's a safety briefing, and it's extremely, extremely, extremely torturous. I went through that before I ever did Sideshow. So I had really I don't know if I want to do this. I had seen what they do. I can't talk about legally what they do because I have a confidentiality thing signed.
Right.
But you do not want to go through it. I went through it, and I guess that's what helped me get rid of a lot of fear in my mind, because I went through these very traumatic situations. It's like you're being put, in a real life situation of a rape or a murder, or think something like that, that could possibly happen in real life, but it's a simulated situation with actors and performers that are aware of everything that's possible to happen and in control of the entire situation. So I wish I could tell you more, but you just have to go through it yourself and experience it.
I'm not
Again,
going
I don't
to.
recommend it. You
I'm
viewers
not
out there,
going to.
maybe you have the cojones to, but again, I don't recommend it. You're going to be saying the safe word after about 5 minutes, which safe word's purgatory. Yeah. So I guess that's one of those things that I never thought I would do, but I did, and then I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing now. So, but after that, it just really allowed me to be open-minded and express myself. So.
Interesting.
Huh.
No, I like it. I think that's cool. Your dad's right, because I think my mom would kill me if I ever did.
He was
something
weirded
like
out by it
that.
at first. He was really weirded out by it when I was swallowing a coat hanger and look, Dad, look what I can do. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, there's a bigger picture to this. You'll see later on. And he saw where I was taking it. I started performing at underground punk shows, I guess, before I started getting into events. And it's like, okay. I see how this is progressing. I'm still worried for your life because you're my son, but
I'm worried for your life, and I just met you today.
yeah, everyone is. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've never been to the hospital, just in bed.
Well, I was gonna say too, injuries. What type of injuries have you had?
So like I said, I busted my cheek
Right,
once with a hematoma. It
that
was
sounds
swollen,
bad.
and I had this, in a bunch of photos from that time period, you just see this big nasty bruise on the side of my cheek. That was there for a really long time. That was in 2016. When I was first learning, I would do street performance with the coat hanger out in public down by the MGM or wherever I could at the time. Fremont was really, really unaccepting of me.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't like me. The look and everything. You're a danger to yourself and to other people because of your equipment. Okay. They were afraid someone was going to take my stuff and hurt somebody else with it. So there was this one time I was out in front of the MGM. And was going for about 2 or 3 hours. My buddy Joey was with me. He was in a kilt playing guitar just for ambience. So I go to swallow my coat hanger for this group of people who put money in my tip jar. I'd already done it a few times throughout the day, but I was tired and it was hot. So I go to do it the first time, couldn't get it. Go the second time, couldn't get it. On the third attempt, I forced the coat hanger in my esophagus, and I just know I forced it. I pushed too hard. I wasn't relaxed. It was not supposed to happen. As soon as I pulled it out, I just felt tense swelling and pain. It was just like an uncomfortable, deep itch in my throat, but more than just a scratchy itch. It was painful. So I was sitting there for a couple minutes wondering if I should continue or go home, and it just got worse. I couldn't even continue to drink water. And
Oh my God.
leaving the parking structure of the MGM, I had to pull over and vomit. And I vomited out nothing but stomach acid. It was just
Oh my God.
burned just because my esophagus was so irritated. I didn't know how to handle the inflammation. So
And you didn't go to the hospital?
no, I didn't want to go to the hospital.
Oh.
I don't have the money for that. I don't need an emergency bill just for my own sake of trying to learn sword swallowing. I wasn't dying. There was no blood. That's the way I looked at it.
Just stomach acid.
I'll tell you about another injury that happened prior to this, before I'd ever started learning sword swallowing, when I was learning blockhead stuff with my nose. So I finally get home. I'm sitting out on my porch with my buddy Joey and Jordan. I'm just like, guys, this sucks. You can hear it in my voice. It's hard to talk. It's hard to breathe. It just felt like there was a lot of pressure on my chest. 3 days passed, still the same. Just day after day, I was vomiting up stomach acid. Anything I would eat, I would vomit it back up immediately because my stomach just couldn't keep it down for whatever reason. Just was like that. So I stopped for about 3 or 4 weeks. was really hesitant to start back up again. And after 3 or 4 weeks, I started back up again. Felt better. I was like, let's do this. I'm back. And then immediately after that, like a week later, I started with the sword. And got the sword.
Holy cow.
So another accident I had. This is why you do your research, you know your human anatomy, and you thoroughly inspect all of the tools you're using and what you are using and the safeness of it before you use it, because I had a severe accident. I guess this was a really big mind-opening, like near-death experience. So this was before I ever had the skewers, before I had these. So I was working with different metal pieces to see what I could maneuver through my skull and through my esophagus, or not through my esophagus, through my sinus cavity to the back of my esophagus to where you could see it, just because I thought that was cool. So I used wall frame hooks. Big no-no. Don't ever use wall frame hooks. So I had 2 long wall frame hooks in each out of my nose. You could see them like sword fighting at the back of my throat. And I was just practicing in my bathroom at my dad's house when I still lived at home. And I went to pull the left one out, and I had this like little hiccup, and like a gag at the back of my throat. You know, it literally like a quarter going into a quarter machine. So you imagine a wall frame hook. It's an arm like this with like a piece that's kind of like this. So there's the end of it, and there's the other end of it at a point. So I had the hooked end in my fingers, and the long pointed end was going down back my throat. It slid like a quarter going into a quarter machine down and hooked on where my uvula is, the soft palate, and it went down my throat. And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I can still breathe. And in my head I'm thinking, I'm about to die. And my dad's gonna come home and find me bled out on the bathroom floor, and this is gonna be it. So I'm like staying calm. I'm like doing a sweep because I was a lifeguard and took CPR and all that. It was lodged. I could feel it bracing against my esophagus and in my sinus. This isn't going nowhere, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe take wire cutters, cut it at the back of my throat. No, then if I cut it, it's going to drop down and puncture my esophagus and my stomach or something. And then I thought real quick, I was like, I know what I can do. I thought, Saw, like the movie Saw, you know, got to survive here. So I took the other tool that I was using in my left nostril, and I'd stuck the hook end in first, so I hooked them hook to hook like this. The first time I had missed and scraped the inside of my sinuses, so I started bleeding intensely, yeah. I actually have photos. If you go all the way down on my Instagram, like to the very beginning, you can see the sink with the wall frame hooks in it. There's just tons of splattered blood everywhere from how much I was dripping. But yeah, the second time I hooked it and I pulled it out, and I was just sitting there like blood, tears, and snot all running down my face. Immediately after I took a selfie, and I was like, I'm still alive. Just so I could show people. And it was just like a big reminder, like, don't be so, be more thorough in everything you do. Be more thorough in your safety. Be as thorough as you can with everything you're doing, because you're dealing with your own life here.
Yeah.
Those are the only major injury accidents I've had. No hospital,
That's
though.
it?
No hospital.
Oh.
No hospital.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Got your heart racing for that story?
Yes.
Imagine walking around your house with a wall frame hook inside your skull.
No.
Just like, how do I get this out right now? It was like 5 or 10 minutes I had it in there just like questioning how to get this out, and I thought, cool, I'm
Oh.
still alive.
Jeez Louise.
So I don't have fear anymore, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. That's a true near-death experience.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Holy cow. Well, I
Lost for words?
Yes. So where can people find you and follow you and see all your upcoming shows? And
All the
everything?
social media.
Yes.
So, main source is Instagram. I do most of my stuff through Instagram. You can subscribe to my Patreon, which I post all of my surprise secret content first, so it's like behind the scenes stuff there. Patreon.com, Auzzy Blood, AUZZY Blood. Auzzy Blood Freak Show on Facebook. You can also look me up on YouTube, Auzzy Blood. Everything Auzzy Blood. Fuck. Sound like a entitlement program. Ah. I mean, it is a business, though, right? This is a self-employed business.
No, it's good. You have
Always-
the same thing for everything.
No, I always feel like that weird douche, like I'm marketing myself out
No.
too much, but I'm trying to get
I
used
had
to
the
it.
same issue, but
You had the
no,
same
you have
issue?
to. You
Yeah,
have
it's-
to. That's what you gotta do.
How long have you been doing this for?
About 5 years.
About 5 years?
Yeah.
Cool. So we're
Yeah.
about the same time.
Yes.
And then, what other social media? I have a big cartel shop. You can find some of my own, I do graphic design, so I put products up on Teespring.
Oh, awesome.
And again, all that's through my social media, so however you want to, feel free to support me. It's always appreciated.
And the dolls too.
And the dolls too, and the oddities. I make other oddities, other art, geometrical fractal art, a bunch of other weird stuff. Didn't bring any of that with me though today.
Well, no, I think he's awesome. And,
Thank you.
And really, thank you so much for being on and sharing everything. I think everyone should go and support you because you're an awesome person
Thank you.
is so talented, and you have a good message too. And
Thank you.
you're a positive person.
I
too.
try to
So
be.
that's
I know the looks can be deceiving. Everyone thinks, oh, he's this goth kid with all his makeup. He's so serious. Nah, I'm the most like fun, bubbly, loving guy, but I also keep it like very down to earth and serious when it needs to be. There's
Yeah.
a time and a place for everything.
Of course. Well,
Thank you for
so
having
much
me.
for being on.
And remember, all you freaks out there, you can do anything you put your mind to. Don't let the barriers, limitations, or expectations of others keep you down or in one place. Feel free to explore yourself. That's what life's for.
I think that's a great
All
piece
right.
of advice. So thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. And remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you. God bless.